Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I bet you're like, oh my goodness, Elanna, you're wearing so much makeup. And honestly, yeah, this is probably the most amount of makeup I've worn in a year. Like literally last summer is the last time I wore this much makeup. But I wanted to create a really wearable, soft, glam look. I feel like this is perfect if you're going to a wedding this summer or a party, an event, or if you're a really cool, trendy bride even. Anyways, it's a lot of different subtle layers to create a nice elevated finish. I really love this. It's not heavy makeup. It's breathable. It's very summer appropriate with SPF. So I will stop talking, and if you want to see how I did this, then just keep on watching. Okay, I feel like I haven't done like a proper, more glam makeup tutorial in ages. Sorry, everyone's been sick this past week and we're all just wrapping that up, so my voice is a little, you know, not cute. Anyways, I'm gonna start off with this Poco Beauty Universal Glow Treatment. It's also SPF 30. It has a really beautiful soft pearl sheen to it. I wouldn't say it's necessarily like the glowiest base product I have. Like the Chanel Universal one would be a little bit glowier, but this one's really lovely on the skin, especially if you have a lot of texture and you want a glowy base product, but you just find most on the market are almost too glowy and they enhance texture or pores. This one is really, really subtle, plus the SPF 30 is a win. You see what I'm talking about? It's like a really subtle, lit from within glow that isn't intimidating, but it definitely just wakens up the skin, which is much needed in my case. Now, for base, I haven't used this again in ages. As you know, I'm not a big foundation fan, but we're gonna go in with the Laura Mercier Real Flawless Weightless Perfecting Foundation in the shade 32N Camel. I'm only gonna use one pump, and even then, that's more than enough. I do not want full coverage, I just want a nice even base. Take it on that same brush, which is an RMS brush. I'm really keeping this on areas that I actually feel like I need a little bit more coverage rather than everywhere. So I'm being really specific with placement and just patting and buffing it in to the area, so then it evens it out to the rest of my skin, and then it looks like we have more foundation on than we actually do. So sometimes this can be a little bit more time consuming, but it leaves you with a more flawless base that isn't heavy and cakey. And especially in the summertime, A, you want something to protect your skin, so the SPF in that base product is key, but also B, you don't want something really heavy. I don't know, whenever I see like a summer glam tutorial and I see full coverage foundation, I'm like, that's gonna sweat off me in like 0.5 seconds. I'm already like a combination skin girly, so that's a no-no for me. Not that we really even get summer here in Northern Ireland, but if I was summer hot, I wouldn't be wearing full coverage foundation. So I'm really getting that in the brush and just lightly stippling it all over the areas of my face that I need it. Before I forget, I'm gonna curl my lashes, and I think I'm just gonna hold off on concealer until after we do our eyes, because there's a little bit more going on with our eyes, so I'm gonna clean up afterwards. Perfect, so now when you use mascara, the lift and hold can actually last. I'm gonna start off with this guy. They're like the little Giorgio Armani eye paints. I picked up two when I was in Florida earlier this year. So one is a little bit more of a warm tone, and the other one's a little bit more of a cool neutral tone. I believe this one is 22M, so 70M, 22M. Starting off with the warmer tone, I'm gonna put that all over my eyelid, almost acting as a base. Zoom in a touch. And now I'm just gonna lightly dab that onto my lid to make sure that it sets in the areas that I want it to. Basically the entire lid. Because it's a really soft wash color, it's not really aggressive. You can get away using this all over your eyelid, especially if you have a neutral, warm, golden undertone like myself. If not, you might find it's a little orangey if you're a little bit neutral or cool undertone. I feel like it adds a nice like bronzy finish, and it's really subtle. Now I'm going to take the other one, the more cool tone one, and I'm going to keep this at my outer corner. Putting it on, it has a nice doe foot applicator. See, I'm creating like an outwards V. What I like about these is not dropping them on my white duvet. Lesson learned. I'm going to tap that out. What I was saying was, I like about these is that they're foolproof. Like anyone can use them because you can just tap them out with your fingers and then build it up to the desirable depth that you prefer. I feel like I'm glowing from above, so we're definitely gonna have to take that down a notch in a little bit. I'm just building this up to what I feel comfortable with. Again, I feel like the trends even nowadays aren't intense makeup anymore, personal preference, but it's more so really subtle placement and really good blending, and it just gives a lot of definition to the eye without having to do like 500 different eyeshadows. I don't know, does anyone have time for eyeshadow anymore? Let me know in the comments, but I feel like this is just so much easier, especially if you're a mom to 3 kids. This is my preferred choice of eye makeup because I can't really spend all this time on a massive eye look with an eyeshadow palette. Just isn't worth it, and it's not even me, it's not my vibe anyways. Okay, now moving on to eyeliner. I'm going to take this eyeliner from Huda Beauty in Very Brown, but I'm going to use this brush from Brow Aid. I'm pretty sure it's a brow brush, but I like the shape of it to really wiggle this into my lash line. So I'm placing this right at my lash line. I feel like with a cream eyeliner, there's only so much you can get right into your lash line. So then using a brush like this, really stipple it in, and it also diffuses the intensity, and it just looks a lot more natural. See how it's giving a lot more of like a shadow and outline to my eye compared to this eye, but it doesn't look like hard eyeliner. Remember when I did liquid eyeliner like every tutorial? My goodness, I don't think I would even know how to do it anymore. For some more pinpointed areas, I'm just gonna put the eyeliner right to the brush and then just pop it on the areas that are a little bit more finicky to get to. So that inner corner, I feel like that really makes a difference as soon as you can get a little bit of depth and definition right in here. Especially if you have like larger eyes like myself, it just kind of like brings a little bit of sass to the look. For mascara, I'm going to take the new Milk one. They just sent it. It's the Kush High Roll Mascara alongside some brow gels as well, which I'm excited to use. And I'm just going to do a couple coats. So it is a tubing mascara, which is my preference. And you don't necessarily need to work fast with a tubing mascara, but if you want to build it up, you need to work while the formula is wet. So I like starting at the root of my lash, wiggling at the root, and then pulling up to the ends. And then I feel like it just shows all your lashes. Your first coat is kind of just your coating coat, like getting all your lashes, seeing what you're working with. And then you can go back and build it up. Stepping away from the eyes for a hot sec, I'm going to take my Refy Concealer in number 6 and put this one under my eyes. So a dot on the inside and the outside, a little bit around my nose and chin. And then wherever I need more coverage, after I blend this out, I'm going to take the Huda Beauty Faux Filter in Marmalade. But before we blend out the concealer, because sometimes I like when concealer sets a little bit so it's not so like watery in consistency, I'm going to take my Pearl Beauty medium bronzer. Using my finger, I'm going to contour with this. I'm placing it exactly where I want it. It's crazy how a little bit of bronzer, Patty's definitely starting to do something in the kitchen there. A little bit of bronzer around your lip totally enhances the pout. Like I still get messages asking if I've had filler in my lips. I've never had filler in my lips. The power of lip liner and bronzer do wonders. Absolute favorite brush to blend this out at the moment, Pearl Beauty Duo one. I'm using the smaller side, which has a really nice dome rounded top, but it's synthetic, so it blends out creams and powders. So I'm gonna start off with the bronzer contour, and because I want it to stay in a certain area, I'm blending it out in a stippling motion rather than just like swiping it, because as soon as you start swiping, the product can go a little sloppy, and then you kind of end up with either over blending or it's going down or it looks a little slashy, where if you're giving yourself 10 more seconds in that area, you're left with a lot more natural results and lifted results, because I'm going in like a lifted motion here, patting it up into my cheekbone, and you can see lifted. That is bronzer and contour all in one, but with any over blending or for a little tidy up, now we blend out the concealer and it still looks really natural. We're not using a lot of product. It's all about placement, like we mentioned, and like how I prefer it. I don't want to look cakey and high coverage at all. I want to look put together, so a little bit more than my everyday kind of vibe, but snatched. Okay, I'm realizing that this concealer is a touch too light because I put a little bit of face tan on the Cocoa Neve one. I was like, wow, this looks a lot brighter than usual, but we will blend it all out. And you know what? Sometimes with a little bit more of a glam look, it's nice to have a little bit more of a brighter under eye because I feel like it showcases the eye a little bit more. Going back to the eyes, we're gonna take this Sweed liner. It's in the shade Golden Beetle, and I'm gonna put this in my water bottom line here, kind of close up the gap, and again to bring a little bit more of drama to the eyes. I do find whenever it's more of a bronzy or, you know, metallic type liner, it's not as aggressive because it has that shine. And then I'm also gonna put a little bit on my tight line, which is right under my lashes. And subtly, I think I'm gonna just put a little bit on the top as well, mostly at the outer corner. I mean, if you know me, and especially this last year, this is a little bit more glam than the usual. If you're coming to my channel and you're like, this is glam makeup, are you crazy? No, this is glam for me. Okay, now taking the new Milk, it's a brow, what is it called? Kush High Roll Brow Tint Gel. This is in the shade Haze, which I believe was either taupe or blonde. It's a tubing brow gel, which is definitely the first I've ever heard. Like, I've never heard of a tubing brow gel. I'm gonna take a little bit of the product off, but it's a touch, like literally a half a shade lighter than my brows, but they fill them out so nicely. And because it's a little bit lighter, it doesn't look really aggressive whenever they're fully brushed up and, you know, filled out with this product, because I feel like a lot of product is dispersed with just how it is, but you can see it fills out my brows, but because it's a little lighter, it doesn't look harsh on my brows. I don't know if I'm making sense. Obviously my brow color is my hair color, and if I was to go that color, it would just look heavy there where I want to lift and have structure, but not add a lot of color. I wasn't going to, but why not? We're already here and it's Friday and I have nowhere to go. I'm gonna take the Pearl Beauty Spotlight in Rose Gold, which is definitely a customer favorite. It is so beautiful. I'm gonna take my ring finger, you use these with a finger, and I'm gonna pop it on literally the center of my eye so that whenever I blink, I get a little spotlight moment. Now, because of my oils, I'm gonna take the Pearl Beauty Setting Powder in Translucent. I'm gonna take it with this little sponge and really rub it on, and then take off the extra on the back of my hand here. And we're gonna press it where I need it, which is definitely around my nose. It is oily there, but because it's such a finely milled pressed powder, it's not gonna look like powder is on my face. It's just gonna look like, oh, lost my voice there. I have flawless, poreless skin, which I will take any day. It's crazy how powder can just honestly totally transform the look. Now for blush, my favorite part, I want it to be like a rosy, bronzy kind of situation. I don't know, kind of want to showcase a blush. So I picked these three. Girl Next Door, Classic Beauty, and Put Together. So I might do like a little gradual situation. I think I'm gonna start off with Girl Next Door, like basically right under my eyes. This is our Cool Tone Pink. I'm gonna put a little bit also on the palm of my hand. I'm gonna take a little bit of Put Together, which is our best-selling mauve. Mix it in. There's a more earthier kind of tone to it. And then to brighten it up, I'm gonna take Classic Beauty, which Olive has been using, and give like one little swipe to give that red, summery, strawberry hit. So let me blend. I literally went like this as if it was a mirror. Let me blend this out first, keeping it as high up as possible so that it isn't too interfering with the other little mix of blushes I made. Our little blush cocktail. And smiling, keeping it at the outer corner of the apple so that most of the color is there. And then lightly bringing it over the apple of the cheek so it's nice and cohesive right up into our temples. Yeah, I'm into that color. The trend definitely at the moment is like super high blush right at the corner of the eye. That's not for you, don't bring it that high, but I do feel like it helps lift the face and it brings a more casual makeup look elevated. Like it just brings up the whole face. For lips, I think I'm gonna do the lip combo that I've been wearing a lot lately just on my socials. So I do think it's a really beautiful nude if you're wearing a little bit more makeup than usual, or you have darker hair, darker lashes, I feel like it's really pretty. So starting with the lip liner in Rendezvous, it's a really beautiful medium deep neutral brown, so stunning. Then I'm going to take Willow, which is our beigey pink nude lipstick, blending it together and kind of going back and forth to get the perfect harmony mix. Oh, I just think this is such a sophisticated, really beautiful nude lip color. Okay, this is the finished look. I love it. I feel like it went a little 90s there at the end with the lip color, but I am feeling it. The lip liners are cream, so they blend into like whatever lipstick you're wearing. My voice is going again. So beautifully, and I'm just really into it. This is very much my version of a wearable soft glam, especially nowadays, 2024, and even summer friendly, because there's not actually a lot of heaviness on our face. It's very strategically placed and it's in layers and small portions, if that makes sense. Sometimes more subtle soft glam actually takes a little bit more work. If you're not a big makeup wearer, it makes it less intimidating in the final finish because your skin still looks like skin. It's not fully covered. You still have like your skin underneath slightly shining through, where it's obviously easier to just slap on a bunch of makeup. But I feel like being 32, I want my skin to really, I don't know, just look its best. And I feel like less products, but really strategically placed, I know I'm repeating myself, is just the way to go. And even with eyes, I love that. I feel like a really subtle like wash over the lid and then keeping a lot of that depth and dimension right at the lash line with a liner. I'm into it. Obviously I'm talking you through exactly what I just showed you, but hopefully that makes sense. I don't think you even need to add lashes to a look like this. Obviously you can to really amplify it a little bit more, but I think this is beautiful for like a wedding guest. It's really, I don't know, it's more up to date with the trends of makeup, but my more subtle version of it. So hopefully you liked it. Let me know in the comments down below what other looks you want to see, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.